Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Complete Human Performance Radio. I am one of the two hosts, Anthony D'Orazio, PhD, and to my left is Mr. Kenny Barber. Kenny, how you doing today?
What's up, everybody? I'm doing
You
good.
have a new product out. We should mention real quick before we start.
Yeah. So through Complete Human Performance, I'll be offering um, just like some Olympic weightlifting analysis, like a one-time type thing. You send me some videos. I send you some feedback via Loom, which I'll record. It records me over your lifts, and I can kind of give you some feedback and some corrective things that you can work on. Um, and it's just like a one-time thing. You sign up for it, send me some information, send me some videos, and I give you some feedback that hopefully helps you out. And maybe later on leads to something else as far as like coaching full time. I do work with people on weightlifting and other combinations of. Right now, Lixon's doing weightlifting and cycling together.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
we're going to be probably working on a weightlifting template with some running. So a little mix there. It's becoming asked about a lot, I believe, is what Ariana was saying about
Yeah,
you
we've
guys.
gotten a few requests for sort of like weightlifting plus
Plus
other
running.
things.
Yeah.
Running, I think we've had a few. Weightlifting and like triathlon, which I could help you with. You and I could probably write that one together.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so if you're interested in that, if you're do Olympic weightlifting, you just want maybe you're doing your own programming, or you just want someone to take a look at your lifts. Maybe you're getting ready for the Crucible, and you want someone to
Yeah.
take a look at your lifts.
Another set
Uh,
of eyes, if anything, right? Just to see what can help you out.
yeah, the link is in the description below. And there was on the link to the product, you'll find Kenny doing an analysis of Ariana's lifts, which gives you an idea of what to expect. It's also very similar to our gait analysis with Nick. So
Yeah.
definitely something I think you should all check out if that is a lift, type of style lifting you do or are starting to do. And yeah, Kenny will be happy to help you out.
Yes, sir.
So today we had a very, very football filled last couple of days. We obviously had the start of the NFL season, and we had another week of college football, which there weren't any big games, but I would say the biggest game did come with I don't know if you want to call it big upset, but we'll call it at least a mild upset with Oregon going into the shoe here in Columbus, where I am at, and beating Ohio State. Kenny, what were your thoughts on that game?
I mean, when you consider what Ohio State lost last year, as far as a guy like Fields and some other key components, uh, seeing this happen in week 2 doesn't surprise me.
No.
Right? I'm not surprised because yes, it's Ohio State. Yes, they're loaded with talent every year. They just kind of reload like the other big schools. But if you do lose some key, senior, I don't know what grade Fields was in. I don't think he was a senior.
I think it was a junior last
But
year.
when you lose that kind of leadership, that kind of talent, and you see he's already making an impact in the NFL, it's not surprising to see a team that might be a little younger lose to a really good Oregon team, right? It's not like they lost to a sub bowl division team. Like they lost to a good team, and Oregon always has a good program. Maybe Oregon's a little more experienced or more older now at this point. So you do see things like this early on in the season. It's kind of why I love a more expanded idea of a playoff, because these kind of losses are going to happen early on, especially if you have a younger team. And who knows, like maybe Ohio State ends up being one of the top teams in the country by the end of the year, but you can't go to playoffs now because you lost to Oregon in week 2, right? Yeah. So that's the tough part about right now. It's with it only being still 4 teams. But I do think they have plans to expand soon. I believe I forget what they
Probably.
are doing.
I really don't like the idea of expansion, but
yeah,
it's.
Well, I don't mean like 12, 15 teams, but maybe 6, right? Maybe a team like with a loss that's not in a seat.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe a team because I feel like the SEC always gets the extra team if they lose.
Yeah, they always get 2. They're going to get 2.
And with one loss, teams, and they are playing a tough schedule. But obviously, Ohio State's going out of their way to play Oregon,
Oregon
a
early.
really formidable team early on in the year, new quarterback, you know. So, and the Big Ten this year looks pretty tough. Everybody is looking tough right now. So, especially Iowa, right? Iowa
Yeah.
State was ranked. Iowa's ranked. Michigan's 2-0. Ohio State is always there, and Penn State's 2-0. So, it's not like the division is weak at any by any means this year. So it should be interesting. But yeah, I think it's tough when you lose that early game in the year because unless it's like, man. But when you lose to a ranked opponent like that, a tough team who has a great program, I think it's not a terrible loss. It's just happens.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. It's first thing, and like I said, a new quarterback, which is clearly it's obvious he's a new quarterback. He's got clearly a very high skill ceiling. But he misses some throws here and there. It's not knock on him, right? It's
Yeah,
learning the offense, they're just learning how to play at that in that atmosphere. Our defense is really young. Like to me, that's the biggest thing. Is just you saw it when we played Minnesota week 1. Is we gave up 163 yards to Ibrahim.
the running back. Yeah,
Yeah, the running back who unfortunately injured himself in the third quarter. So he had
yeah,
163 yards through 2.5 quarters. He was crushing us. And, unfortunately he's out for the year, which I feel really bad at because he's a stud. But, our defense, we can only play man apparently, right? We don't play anything else, right? And so, and because our players are so young, they're not recognizing, we got beat on that crack toss like 3 times, like for big yardage. It's because our corners aren't recognizing it's a crack toss.
yeah.
And so they're getting sucked inside, and then we have no contain on the outside. So, I'm sure some of that is just, that is just youth and not recognizing it and what defense you're in. I'm sure that will be corrected, in coming weeks, or we'll hopefully start playing some zone to mix it up. It's hilarious to see Ohio. Obviously being at Ohio State, I'm actually on Ohio State, one of Ohio State's branch campuses right now. But seeing the reaction locally here in Columbus is just insane, right?
Everybody's
People
panicked.
take
Right?
people take this stuff way too seriously. It's like it's a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-old kids playing a game. Like, okay, they lost. Yeah, it's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. Like I said, it's a good Oregon team. It's early in the year. Take a breather. It's okay. It's okay. So, I think will we be able to work our way back up to be at least in the conversation for well, maybe we'll get in, maybe we won't. Yeah, probably if we win out, probably.
Have
Do I
to
think
win
we should?
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
have to
we
win
have to
out.
win out. Yeah,
And then they're doing the Big Ten championship game this year.
yeah,
Have to win
yeah.
that, obviously.
I would assume
But
so. Yeah,
part of winning out. But yeah, I mean, you have to win every game the rest of the year to even have a chance, to even be considered.
yeah. I mean,
And
because you figure Alabama's a lock, so you're really fighting over 3 spots.
yeah, and Clemson.
Georgia looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson lost to Georgia by 7 points, right? So they're gonna. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia ends up being number 2 in the country.
Yeah.
So Clemson will have 1 loss to them, right? So you almost have 3
what we
teams.
basically need is to win out, and we need Oregon to win out. If that happens, then all of a sudden,
Yeah, but then
we
does
look real
Oregon
good.
does Oregon get in at that point? You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah, well, then you probably have that case where you have 2 SEC teams. Oregon wins the Pac-12, they get in, and we get in as the Big Ten, right? Because the other thing that the committee will never say that they take into account, but they definitely take into account is who can sell seats.
oh
Right?
yeah,
That's why they're like mid majors that go undefeated never get in. It's because
yeah,
okay, we have a mid major that's undefeated, and we have an Ohio State that lost their second game and is crushed
Oregon.
everyone since.
Yeah.
Ohio State probably is the better team. We know at any rate, but at the very least, they're going to bring in way more fans, right? Just because the alumni base is huge.
It's the same with the SEC that they travel so well.
They travel well, so
and they're good. So it's like, but you got to imagine that Georgia and Alabama are probably going to be there, even if one loses.
So I want to say yes. But the problem is Georgia always manages to lose some game that they definitely shouldn't lose.
Correct.
Every year.
Their defense just looks so good. I'm like, how can they lose at this point? To anyone other than Alabama. But they still got to play those tough teams in the SEC. So we'll see. It's always interesting with the college football, and I feel like it's always fighting, like you said, for one or two spots really than four, because it's like Alabama's always in, or like LSU,
Yeah.
and this year LSU's not going to make it. But yeah, you gotta hope too. The Pac-12 is formidable this year, right? So we know UCLA already beat LSU, so it was a good win for the Pac-12, and Oregon, beat Ohio State, so that's a big win for them as well. So it's almost like the Pac-12 has to be good. Maybe Oregon loses one game, and maybe in the, you know what I mean, and then Ohio State wins out, and then maybe Ohio State gets in. So it'll be interesting. So I feel like there's a lot of good teams that are in Alabama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
No, I agree.
like in that 10 through 2 ranking, it's going to be interesting. And there's always and then you have like Florida State loses to Jackson State after
I
almost
watched the
beating Notre
replay of
Dame.
that. Like I wasn't even like paying attention. I didn't realize. I saw they lost, but I didn't realize how they lost on the last play.
Yeah.
I watched the replay. I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane.
And they almost beat Notre Dame, who's supposed to be a good team.
Notre Dame is always a tease. Notre Dame's always we're almost good every year, and then we're either good and get smashed by like one of the major conference teams in a bowl game, or we like fall like our disappointment during the regular season.
It's not the Notre Dame I grew up watching or seeing with just loaded teams that were beating and winning national titles. Always competing with like the Miamis and Florida States of the world back in the day.
Really nice campus.
Never been. Heard it's awesome. Never been.
I've been there a couple times, and it was I grew up. My father hated Notre Dame, so I of course I must hate Notre Dame as well. But I actually don't really feel one way or the other to them now. I like their campus, and I think the history's cool. So I think it's I don't like feel one way or another. Right? If they win, cool. If they don't, okay.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I think the history of it's cool and all that. And there was a good movie, Rudy.
That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, but like, it's going to be I think as it always is. I mean, and that's kind of why, like, at the same time, I'm like, man, I wish there was 2 more teams in the playoff. Then it always gets to be so controversial at the end.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, but we'll see. And like I said, right. Iowa beat Iowa State. Penn State won, so that was basically college in a nutshell.
Yeah, there weren't any major marquee games. I would say
not like week 1.
Ohio State, week 1 was insane.
Yeah. So
all right, let's move on to the NFL. Since NFL kicked off this week, great first week. I thought it was really exciting. Obviously, it started off with the Buccaneers and Cowboys Thursday night in really a thriller. It comes down to a last-second field goal by the Buccaneers to win the game 31-29. Brady can still play. Like, the dude seems to get better. He's like 44 years old and just gets better every year. It's like shocking.
It's weird at this point. It's just weird. I don't understand it. I'm 44. I woke up this morning, my calf hurts. I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how this guy's doing it. And it's not like I'm not taking care of myself, right? I
exactly.
eat well, I work out, like, I'm an active guy. And seeing this dude, I mean, I remember playing football just in high school, and like I'd be sore for 2 days after the game. It's just like an all-out fist fight for however long the game is, and then the next day you're sore, right? And this guy's 44, and I mean, he had two turnovers that weren't his fault. He threw a pick at the end of the half. It was a Hail Mary, right? Doesn't count.
Yeah.
The other one hit the guy right in the chest and bounced up. Fournette dropped it.
I heard that on the radio because I was driving home from teaching lab.
So neither one of his picks. I mean, he basically had a flawless game. Like he he threw for however many yards, a bunch of touchdowns, and
379.
Like crazy amount of yards.
4 touchdowns. Yeah, it's insane.
And it's like, it's 2 picks, but like his 2 picks were like, they weren't picks. They were just yes, the Hail Mary's a pick. I get it, but like it was the end of the half, and they're just throwing the ball to the end zone, and the other pick had nothing to do with him. He hit the guy. He literally hits him like this, and it pops up, and the other guy caught it on the other team. So, there's picks that aren't really the quarterback's fault a lot of times. And
yeah, definitely. So that was the takeaways there. Let's go to the game I was most interested in because it's my hometown team initially, which is the Browns against the Chiefs, and it was probably the most the game most people were most excited for, right, is a rematch of the AFC Championship game last year.
Yeah.
Browns dominate the first three quarters basically, and then Browns then have three turnovers in the fourth quarter. Chiefs do Chiefs things that no one else seems to be able to get away with.
Yeah.
And
Mahomes was Mahomes.
so here's all right. So I'm gonna actually pull up the stat line because all right, I fully admit I am a homer for the Browns, so
Yeah.
just bear with me. Right. So here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes goes 27 to 36 for 337 yards. Mayfield goes 21 to 28 for 321. Right now, Mayfield has the one interception, which I thought was just a really good play by the defense because Mayfield was trying to throw that ball away, and he gets tripped right as he throws it.
Yeah.
So he has his legs get taken out. So all he's doing is throwing it with his wrist, and it goes right to the Chiefs. So it was a great play by the Chiefs, lineman to grab him, get him. It's an interception, yes, granted, but it's okay. Other than that play, yes, he didn't throw any touchdowns, but he didn't need to. We just walked in on three touchdown runs.
Yeah.
Right. Their defense could not stop our run at all. We outrushed them 153 to 73. It wasn't even close. And let's be honest, people talk about Mahomes being great, and it's okay, he's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But that one touchdown to Tyreek Hill was a 50-50 ball. That was a thrown up ball that Tyreek Hill, our safety, who's very good, John Johnson's very good, just completely misplayed. Right? So it's that ball, I would argue, should have been picked. It wasn't, and Tyreek Hill
definitely could have been. Yeah,
it's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, right? If he catches it and there's no defender between him and the end zone, he's going to score.
Correct.
So so you all of a sudden he gets a 75-yard touchdown pass on a 50-50 ball, right?
Yeah.
It's okay, is he a fantastic? And the announcers are he's making magic. It's well, he kind of just threw it up. Let's be honest. And now to his credit, he knows Tyreek Hill can make a play, right? But you're also throwing to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, the guy, he is fortunate to have some amazing weapons around him. But I actually saw a cool bit about this today while I was working. I was kind of half listening and half wasn't. But the main point of it was and it wasn't a knock on Baker, and it wasn't being so much how great Mahomes is. But it was the main difference, there's a few quarterbacks in the league that when the other team knows they're going to throw the ball or they're behind, right, they know they have to throw the ball, they still make it happen, right? So there's some good quarterbacks who play really well when they're in the lead and they can run the ball and can throw play action, right? They don't have to throw the ball per se. And the announcer's point was there's Mahomes, Brady, not Rodgers week one, but typically Rodgers, guys like that who they don't care what the score is. They could be down 15, 20 points and still, and the other team knows they're going to throw the ball, right? And they're still making plays, whether, like you said, he got lucky there. And I think that,
he made some throws that were phenomenal. Where he's getting hit as he throws, and it's it's inch perfect, 25 yards downfield.
He throws from crazy arm angles, and the guy's talented. But I don't think Baker did anything bad. I think he had.
I thought Baker had a phenomenal game. I think he literally had one bad pass, which was the interception at the end. That was because he got tripped.
They're going to win 12, 13 games, in my opinion. I think they're a solid team. Their defense is good. They can run the ball. How do teams win in the NFL? They run the ball and have good line play. The Browns have that this year. They're going to be a good team.
No, I'm not. I think we're going to roll some people pretty badly, to be honest.
I don't think it's going to, and again, you're playing the Chiefs week one. They're really good.
It's Chiefs week one in Arrowhead.
Yeah, right? And you're at Arrowhead, a tough place to play.
If that's in Cleveland, do I think does our punter drop the ball?
Yeah,
probably
punter,
not.
That's a huge play in a game, right? A huge play. And people.
How often does Chubb fumble? Not often.
Yeah.
Was it a good hit? Yeah, it was a good hit. But he's he's running all over them. He was averaging 7 yards a carry.
Yeah, so they put that game in their back pocket and do their thing. I think they'll be fine. I think Baker's going to have a good year. Yeah, he didn't have touchdowns or whatever, but if you're running the ball, who cares if you're winning? You know what I mean? It's when it gets to that point where it's like, oh crap, now we're losing. Now I have to throw the ball. And he's trying to make things happen. No OBJ. Like, yeah, they have a couple guys, but I don't know why he didn't play. I guess
Yeah, I
he's
said he warmed up, but just wasn't fully
still
good.
hurt.
But I mean,
Yeah,
I think honestly, my thought is we're probably gonna trade OBJ,
it wouldn't
and I
surprise
think
me. Yeah,
and we'll keep Schwartz because Schwartz looks like a player. The
yeah,
guy out of Auburn.
yeah.
He looks really good. He had a really good first game.
So
So I think good game for both teams. Kudos to the Chiefs; they did pull it out. So
yeah,
made some great plays in the fourth quarter. To them, I think again, I agree with you. I think that as a Browns fan, it's like very frustrating. But we haven't won an opening day game since 2004, so that's like super frustrating. But I do think we're going to roll some teams really badly.
yeah.
This year.
They're going to be good.
So
they're going to be
really
really
and we're fun to watch. If nothing else, we're very fun to watch.
Yeah.
So other than that, what were some other? Let's go through the games real quick. A lot of these, we don't need to say anything. But I guess looking for the other big sort of. That was a big game, but I think that it sort of played out how everyone expected, right? The Browns Chiefs, like it was close.
Yeah.
It was a back and forth, both teams scoring, both teams showing great, offensive play, on kind of everywhere, running, passing, throwing.
Yeah.
Saints Packers was probably the craziest, unexpected outcome, I would say.
Absolutely.
What I didn't watch it because it was on during the Browns game, and so it's just. What did the Packers just not show up to play? Looking at Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers threw two interceptions. He never throws interceptions.
Yeah, he had 5 all last year, and he had 2. And when you talk about someone that doesn't look like he wanted to be there, he didn't look like he wanted to be there at all.
I want to be anywhere but here.
It was very weird. Sorry, that noise is happening. Ooh. There, I'm back. I just don't know what his problem is at this point. If he doesn't want to be there, they should have traded him. The offseason, we know there was lots of drama and a lot of passive aggressive comments and just a lot of woe is me. Look, man, you're a great quarterback. You were MVP guy last year. Did he win the MVP last year?
Yes.
I think he did. Yeah. I mean, he was phenomenal last year. They lost in the NFC Championship. And the guy's incredible, right? We know this. He's one of the best of all time. Stat-wise, incredible.
Absolutely.
But he's sitting on a bench on the sidelines in the third, and he looks like he just wants to go home. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. And the interview afterwards, he's like, yeah, this was a real kick in the, where, he just seems, he's got he grew his hair out. I don't know what's going on with the guy. It's like he's just done. You know what I mean? So it sucks because he's such a talent and they have a lot of talent.
It was like we mentioned last week is that you never know. I mean, football is such a brutal sport.
Yeah.
By its very nature that you never know. It's not like basketball where basketball, you typically see guys a slow decline. Where it's okay, he starts to be worse this year, and then the next year is a little worse, and then maybe it's year 3 he falls off a cliff where his performance really declines. In football, I think you have sort of the more precipitous decline where someone's fine one year, and then the next year either because of injuries or just mentally, this is why you see guys just random what appears to, from the outside to be a random retirement where they're I'm just done.
I'm done, yeah.
Why am I putting my body through this again? Because it's hard. Why? When you objectively look at it, it's okay, once you have some money, you made some money, you enjoyed it. It's you pick up some injuries. It's all right, this is probably not worth it anymore. So maybe he's just, it's. I don't want to say too much because I didn't watch the game, and it's only week 1, right? So who knows what week 2 will look like or week 3? But it's if he continues to sort of be the way you're describing, at that point it's okay, maybe he should just hang it up at that point and just, either force a trade or whatever.
Well, no, so I'm a Denver fan, right? And I'm all talk in the offseason was Aaron Rodgers going to Denver, right? Now I see a post today that they're looking at him for next year now. They're still in the works to try to get him. And I'm man, does he even make it through the season at Green Bay? Yeah, it just looked so a bizarre win. But props to the Saints. Jameis Winston looked good.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Playing the role of I don't want to say game manager. I hate that
Yeah.
word or words. I hate those
He
words.
did what he was supposed to do, right?
Yeah, he was hitting checkdowns. He was hitting the guys that were open. He wasn't just slinging it everywhere. We know the guy can throw the ball. He threw for 5,000 yards one year, right? Like not many people have done that.
Yeah, it sounded like I was hearing someone talk about it this morning on sports radio, and they were making the point that he wasn't just. It used to be that he would just throw it wherever. Like I can fit it. He thought he could fit it anywhere.
Yeah,
Whereas yesterday it seemed like very much where he was much more controlled. Like took the smart plays, didn't
yeah,
try to force it, and it
and
worked fine.
it was. I think Sean Payton had a great game plan for him. I think it worked really well. And he even I saw an interview where Jameis was saying like he learned a lot from Drew Brees. You know, about how to take the checkdowns and how not to just try to sling it everywhere. And they look good. They look really good. And their defense, I mean, shut down.
Malcolm Jenkins is still out there. I love Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah.
The guy's great.
So, it's a good win for them. Again, week one, right? You try not to get too high or too low, but it's still a good win early on.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, all right. So the other kind of two other games, I guess, that are worth mentioning at least. What I would say, Cardinals beat up on Tennessee.
Yeah, another
in
surprising,
Tennessee.
Yeah,
like I know I picked the Titans in that game, which I got a lot. If you listen to my picks from last week, they were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. And I'm taking a mulligan because it was week one, and I didn't know like how half the teams would look. So
yeah.
But yeah, Cardinals. I mean, shocking. Kyler Murray. I saw one highlight from him where he like avoided like 15 people. It appeared to be like he's just Barry Sanders. Everyone.
He had 5 touchdowns total, 1 rushing, 4 throwing. He's impressive. I have DeAndre Hopkins in my fantasy league, so I was very happy about that. He had 2 touchdowns. But man, Kyler Murray, he just makes throwing the ball look easy to me. He flicks his wrist.
Yeah.
He
does.
Reminds me of Michael Vick. Like when he used to throw the ball, it was just like a flick and the ball was there. But, as a baseball player, it makes sense. The guy was drafted as a baseball player and a football player. They're just a great talent, and they're going to be tough. And they got a good D line now. They got J.J. Watt this year. The one guy had 5 sacks. Forget his name. But he had 5 sacks in game 1.
That's great. That's a lot of sacks.
Yeah, he's on pace to break the record.
Obliterate the record, basically.
They look tough.
The other game I would mention. I cut you off there. Sorry, but the other game I guess is worth mentioning is that was objectively was surprising. Subjectively, as an AFC North aficionado, was not surprising. Was the Steelers beating the Bills in Buffalo?
Yeah,
because historically the Steelers always play better than you think they should every year.
Yeah.
And the Bills fundamentally are the Bills, just like the Browns are the Browns.
Yeah, but you think like after last year, you think the Bills are like. I mean, Josh Allen, he could have been the MVP.
Like he reverted 2 years when I caught a few plays and he did not look good.
So I'm like, man, maybe Pittsburgh's defense really got that much better in the offseason. And Ben played with it himself. He wasn't doing some of the crazy things he does sometimes, and they came back and won the game, which is even more impressive. They were down early as well and came back and won. So that was definitely surprising me. I believe we both picked the Bills that game.
I definitely did. I definitely did not pick.
Aging quarterback, fresh young team on the Bills side, and good defense. And they lost. But again, week 1.
Week 1.
I live in the Eagles world, so a lot of happy Eagles fans today. And
they beat up on the Falcons.
Yeah, I thought they looked good, but again, week 1. It's the Falcons. They're the worst defense in the league, probably, or top 5 worst. But
bottom 5. I don't know.
Bottom 5 worst. Yeah, I don't even know how to say that. But again, they looked good. Hurts looked solid. He did what he was supposed to do. He threw the ball to the right places. So it looks like they had a good game plan, which the last few years with Peterson, it never looked like they had any game plan. They ran the ball. They threw off the run. So that was good. And my team, Denver, beat the Giants. But again, the Giants are terrible as well. So I was cautiously happy. And again, it's week 1. So I was glad though how they played. Their defense looks really good. They only gave up 1 score. The second one came as time ran out, so it was kind of a worthless score. But literally, the guy crossed the goal. They didn't even kick the extra point, so the game was over. So they played well. Chargers looked tough. Skins lost Fitzpatrick already. He had a hip.
Oh, did they really? I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, he
You missed
first
that.
first half he finally got a starting job and he blew his hip out. I think
Oh,
they said it was
jeez.
like Tua's injury in college when he got hurt at Alabama.
Oh, so is he got? He's done for the year then. That's
It
terrible.
doesn't look good. Um,
Oh,
but it was a good game with the Chargers.
that's unfortunate.
Alabama versus Alabama. Tua and Mac Jones was a pretty good game. They both looked formidable, tough defenses. They're going to be solid teams. Maybe they get into the playoffs, one of them, and one of them wins.
Yeah.
Uh, the
Panthers beat the Jets.
the Darnold.
McCaffrey's back. McCaffrey
Yeah.
looked good from what I saw.
If he can stay healthy, I mean, he's a he's a great player.
Yeah.
It's just his health. And Saquon made it all the way through a game for the Giants, so that was encouraging.
Oh, that is good.
Another guy gets hurt a lot. So
that running back position is just hard.
It's tough.
It's like when you get guys that do tend to stay healthy. It's like the anomaly. Like, wait, how have you been played on all these games?
Yeah, like your Frank Gores of the world, right? The guy's 75.
He's like the ageless wonder. Man.
Yeah, he's playing the hardest position, and he's still playing.
He's like, what is he like? Second all time on like the rushing list, just because he's just played forever.
Yeah, it's as freaky as like how Brady is with his,
Yeah, almost more so just because of the number of hits.
Well, because he's running back, right? You're just getting, and then the cuts and the running and it beat your legs up. So that was impressive to see. But yeah, the Cardinals division is stacked. You got Seattle won. The Rams looked amazing last night.
Yeah,
Arizona won.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and San Fran won as well. So
that'll be probably one of the cases where if it plays out like with the way everyone looks after week one, is that'll be a division where like the third place team has like 11 wins and doesn't get in the playoffs because there'll be one like someone from the NFC East the winner of the NFC East will have like 8 wins or 9 wins and somehow get in.
Yeah,
and have home field for some reason for reasons that are like unclear.
Yeah. Never made.
They're clear. They're stupid.
Last year was terrible. What were they? 7 and 9. Yeah, or something like that.
It was terrible.
So
I am interested. We record on Mondays, so we are recording this the day before it comes out. So we do not know what the Ravens look like because since we recorded last week's, they lost, of course.
Speaking of running backs,
their other running back, Gus Edwards, after already losing J.K. Dobbins for the year. Lose Gus Edwards, and they lose their best cornerback. Was it Marcus Peters, I believe?
Yeah, but was it him? I think it was.
It's Marcus Peters, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they end up. I mean, they're playing the Raiders, and I honestly have no idea how good the Raiders are. So
I think the Ravens win.
They're Baltimore's favored.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, you sit there and go, well, you kind of Lamar Jackson for like 2 touchdowns just on his own.
Yeah, you still have him on your team. So
yeah, he's undefensible.
Yeah,
so,
he's one of the best runners in the league, and he throws it pretty good too. And I think they got a little more help at wide receiver this year, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, I think Ravens win.
All right, let's look at next week. Let's see make our predictions because I think it's fun to do predictions.
Oh yeah, I agree.
All right, so the Thursday game this week, this is a Thursday game, is New York Giants at the Washington football team.
Even without Fitzpatrick, I like the backup. I think the Giants are just not that good, so I'm going.
I didn't watch either team this weekend, and I have no clue who's the backup for Washington that's playing now.
That guy that played in the playoffs last year, what's his name? Starts with a T. He was very good. He did a good job this weekend too, but Chargers are just better. But I think Washington's defense is too good for the Giants.
All right, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to trust the Kenny analysis.
that said, the Giants will win by 30, but I'm going with
Washington. Saquon Barkley goes off for 300 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, which would be fun to watch. But
yeah.
All right, I'll be honest. I have no rooting interest in that game, so I'll go Washington. All right, Cincinnati at Chicago. Cincinnati won in overtime this weekend. Chicago
lost to the Rams.
Man, it's Dalton. I mean, they're going to start Dalton again for Chicago, so he's playing his old team. It's in Chicago. I think this game is close. That's my prediction. I'm predicting it's close. I'm going to go mean, I must say Cincinnati pulls it out on the road. I can't believe I'm going with that, but I believe in Joey Burrow.
Yeah, I like Burrow. I'm a big Burrow guy. I think he's a talented kid and he's a winner. I think they'll win. And I think the following week, Justin Fields will be the starter at Chicago.
Yeah, I think this is all set up for a.
I think this is it for Andy Dalton. Unless they win and blow him out, then maybe Dalton stays in. But Fields adds a little different, something different.
Yeah, he does.
So,
all right, Houston at Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland by about 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, big win.
Don't quote me on that, but I think we win there pretty easily.
Big win for Cleveland there.
Yeah, that'd be good. In front of the home fans, that'd be a nice home opener. All right, Los Angeles. All right, I have to make sure I get the right Los Angeles here because there's 2 of them. For God's sakes, this is the Rams, Los Angeles Rams at the Colts. Colts lost this weekend, but I didn't. I'm gonna go Rams. I'm gonna go Rams.
I was very impressed with what I saw with the Rams. So I'll go there too. We're picking the same teams, by the way.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I agree.
Buffalo at it didn't go that well for us last week. We'll see this week's ending. We have more information this week. Buffalo at Miami. I'm going to pick Buffalo on the road. I thought they played really poorly from what I saw this week 1. I thought Allen played really poorly. I think they bounced back. I know Miami's coming off an important divisional win against New England, but I think Buffalo bounces back towards their form from the end of last year, plays a lot better. They take this on the road.
Yeah, agreed there too. I think they right the ship and close game, ugly 16-13 type game there. Yeah. A lot of defense. Yeah.
All right. New England at the New York Jets. Well, I'll let you choose first.
I like the quarterback for the Jets, but I still like I like the Patriots overall.
Yeah, I gotta take Patriots. It's the Jets. Until they prove otherwise, they're the Jets.
Still the Jets.
San Francisco at Philadelphia. I'm going to take Philly, given that it's a West Coast team coming to the East Coast. I'm taking Philly.
So that's a great way to pick because there's a lot of numbers behind that anytime a team travels coast to coast, they don't play very well. But I'm saying the 49ers win here. I'm saying a little bit of upset just due to travel, but I think the Eagles will play well, but not as well as they did against the Falcons. And I think the 49ers win. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough to.
I think that game's a toss-up, though, to be honest.
Las Vegas at Pittsburgh. Give me Pittsburgh at home. They're just too tough there every year.
Sure.
New Orleans at Carolina. Oh, that's a good game. New Orleans at Carolina. I'll let you pick first on that one.
I'm all in on Jameis, and I have Camaro in my fantasy, so I'm going with them.
I like Sean Payton.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Carolina, and whenever I think of Carolina, I just think of like Christian McCaffrey and the old Ohio State scat back guy that plays for them, whose name I'm forgetting right now. I like him trying to make plays, and I'm going to go with New Orleans as well, I think. Because New Orleans also didn't have like half the wide receivers play.
Yeah, Michael Thomas is out.
Michael Thomas didn't play, and I think like 2 of the other starters didn't play. So I assume at least 1 or 2 of them will be back. I'm going to go to New Orleans. Your team, Denver, goes to Jacksonville, take on Urban Meyer and former Clemson quarterback.
Yeah, I think not even a homer pick. I think Trevor Lawrence will struggle with that defense. They're very good. Von Miller looked all pro-like in his return.
Von Miller was a beast. I'm going to go Denver there. I think, Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a rookie, right? Like he's just a rookie.
I mean, he does some great things. He's going to be good. I just think.
Yeah, he'll probably throw a couple touchdowns, but he'll also probably throw a couple picks.
Yep.
Yeah. Minnesota travels to Arizona. I gotta go Arizona based on how they played.
Yeah, they look great.
How Kyler Murray played. I can't.
I'm all in on them right now. So.
All right. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay.
That's going to be ugly.
Does Tampa Bay even play their starters in the second half?
Maybe. I think that's a big time blowout.
Dallas, who looked, really good against Tampa Bay, really impressive that, it's I shouldn't say impressive. It's both impressive and very good to see Dak back out there and
Yeah,
moving around, after that injury he
that was
suffered. So good for him.
brutal injury.
Yeah, Dallas at the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh wow, that's a good game.
It has a good game.
I'm going Chargers. I love that quarterback, Herbert.
Man, I'm so curious what I'm going to go Dallas because I think Tampa Bay's front seven so strong. Dallas didn't even really try to run the ball. Like they would ran it like a couple times, but
Yeah, they didn't even try.
they didn't really try. I think, against everyone else other than like Tampa Bay, they're going to try and get Zeke going a little bit. And I think Zeke had a down year last year. I think he comes back stronger this year. So I'm gonna roll with Dallas on that one.
Kind of a toss up too, that game.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think there's some good, again, so early in the season, we're still trying to figure out who everyone is and how consistent people are.
Yeah.
Tennessee at Seattle.
Oof. Man, I mean, Tennessee should be good, but I mean, just
this is one of those. So the thing about Tennessee is when they lose, they tend to like lose badly.
Yeah. This is a trap game for sure. Seattle is all feeling good.
Yeah, and like Tennessee, this has gone back like the last 2 years. Where like if it all comes down to like basically shutting down Henry.
Yeah.
If you shut down Henry, you typically win by like 2 or 3 touchdowns, or at least like win comfortably. If you don't shut down Henry, you inevitably get pounded to death. He ends up with 220 yards.
Well, and that's a great example of a quarterback that, like I was saying with Baker, that plays well when he's ahead, right? They're running the ball, they're throwing play action. They got down early and they couldn't recover. Like it was just not happening. So I agree with that.
So here I'm going to disagree with you in the sense that I think Baker's better than that because Baker's made some throws, especially last year. Like his year 2 was bad, but his first year and last year especially, and this is part of it's because I watch all the Cleveland games.
Yeah.
But he's made some throws at the ends of games when we're down. Like go back, look up the highlights from the Browns Bengals game where we came back at the end and we scored with 20 seconds left or whatever. The throws he made on that last drive.
No, I'm not saying like he can't do that stuff. I'm just saying it's kind of like I feel like he plays really well when they're winning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an easier game.
Yeah,
like it is.
It's
right?
easier
because you can run run play action.
And Tannehill's very like when he's throwing play action and Henry's blasting 6-7 yard runs. Yeah. It's so much easier to play in that scenario. So it is a tough call because if they get up early, maybe they stay in that pound the ball mindset and throw play action, and then they got those giant wideouts now with Julio and Brown. But I forgot.
How do they lose by so much with those wideouts?
I don't know. I don't know. I still go with Seattle though because Russell Wilson just he's playing out of his mind. So
I'm going to go Seattle only because it's in Seattle. If this is in Tennessee, I take Tennessee.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Seattle just because it's in Seattle. You have the 11th man.
I think it'll be much
closer. They're going to be super loud because I think that's their home opener.
I think it'll be way closer than people think.
Who are you taking in that one?
Sort of a toss-up again.
Oh, you still there?
Oh, I lost you.
Oh, we lost Kenny. All right. We're going to continue without Kenny. We'll finish this up. Kansas City at Baltimore. And this is the Sunday night game. I'm taking Kansas City. Again, Baltimore's got some injuries. I know Kansas City has a couple, but I think Baltimore's are more impactful. And it's
there you are.
Oh, you're back. I was just going to carry on without you.
There you are.
So,
no, I was just saying. I think it's going to be way closer than people think. The game. Okay. I think it's going to be a great game. It might be a game of the week.
I took Seattle.
Okay. Yeah, I think Tennessee. Or no, I said Seattle. Yeah, I like Seattle. But I
can see myself definitely being wrong on that one, but I'm taking Seattle. Kansas City at Baltimore. I said I was taking Kansas City because it's Kansas City, and I think Baltimore's injuries are going to be – they're missing their best starting cornerback against Kansas City. Like, that's not going to go well.
No. And again, if they get down early, they're not built to come back.
No, they are not at all. And then the Monday night matchup, which I guess we'll be recording before that occurs, but we'll give it now anyway. It's Detroit at Green Bay.
I'm going Detroit. There's a shock pick of the week. Detroit didn't look bad in their loss. They scored a bunch of points. They came back and made it a game against 49ers. And the Green Bay looked awful. So let's go Detroit.
I'm going to go Green Bay because they're at home.
Yeah, they'll probably win.
But but I'll probably be rooting for Detroit because why not?
Yeah.
Be more fun. All right. Do we have any major? Let's click on this real quick. Do we have any major NCAA football games this week that we should pick? I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah, I can't remember.
We have week 3.
Because I love me some college football.
All right. Let me see if we have any nice ranked games for us. Let's see here. All right. So All right. Number 1 Alabama takes on number 11 Florida. I think Bama wins by 3 touchdowns.
I don't disagree with you.
The line is Alabama minus 15.5. So okay. Yeah, I'm picking Bama by a boatload of points. Let's see here. Ohio State. We're taking on Tulsa. That should be. If we don't win that game, we got real issues.
Yeah.
Or Oregon is taking on Stony Brook, so they're in the same boat.
That should be a blowout.
Well, here's one. This isn't a bad one. Penn State at number 10 taking on number 22 Auburn. Where are they at? This is in Pennsylvania. This is in
at Penn State.
At Penn State, yeah.
Man,
are they doing like a whiteout for that? They might do a whiteout.
Probably. They usually do that.
I'm going to take Penn State in that one.
Yeah. Home game. I mean, SEC teams are always tough. We know this. But, yeah, I'll go Penn State. They look good this year. I like the quarterback.
They're tough, but they rarely come to play in the Big Ten. When we play them, we're usually playing them in SEC country.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's where they come up. All right, Kenny. Well, those are our picks for the week. Anything else to add? I don't think there's much else going on. Baseball's occurring.
Djokovic almost had the calendar Grand Slam, and he lost in the finals.
He did.
Yeah. And the guy apologized for beating him in his interview.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was like, I'm sorry, because this was supposed to be like this thing, and I won. I kind of ruined it, but
but I had to win. So.
Yeah, I mean, he won, and Djokovic was frustrated, smashing his racket. But, I mean, the guy's on the verge of, as good as Federer was, now this guy's on the verge of being the GOAT as well. So it's like, yeah, that's about it. Baseball, Phillies are still teasing me. So
the Indians had the 3rd no-hitter thrown against them this year. The guy only missed a perfect game, or the 2 guys, because the one guy finished it out. But
okay.
They only missed a perfect game they threw 1 walk. Jeez. Otherwise, it would have been a perfect game. Indians can't hit the ball is the issue.
I guess so. And the Yankees are reeling right now. They lost like 9 in a row or something at one point. Won a game and then they lost another one. So yeah, that's about it. Subway Series looked pretty cool with all the 9/11 stuff.
It is cool. Baseball. I had it on once or twice and briefly, and it takes too long. I get so bored.
They need to speed it up somehow. We could talk about that another time though.
There you go. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe down below. Go check out, if you do Olympic weightlifting, want someone to have a second pair of eyes, go check out Kenny's new product via CHP. Down below, the link will be. And we will see you all next week. Peace.
See you.